Hi, everybody, and yo, yo, yo to the yo, yo, yo for you. I made it, and this is very interesting what has happened, okay, over at anchor.fm. For any of you that understand the power of voice, for any of you that have thought to yourself, should I start a podcast? What would I talk about? What should I do? Anchor.fm, of course, is a place on the internet that you can go on your dash, right here on your computer, on your laptop, or your mobile device, and create, record, library, index, distribute your podcast for FREE. I wish I had the acronym set up, but for free. And the news came out today. It came through their Medium, of which I got a notice on my email that they had decided that they would go ahead and engage or activate what's called listener support. And listener support, like many of the other pay-to-play models or subscription models, allows for a podcaster to be supported by their listeners to the tune of 99 cents, $4.99, $9.99, with a modest fee structure, so that the majority of the donations or support revenue royalty goes to the creator. So I thought, well, I'm going to jump on. I know that Miss Eileen is also done. She did her own anchor about the breaking news. But I thought that I would come on to YouTube so that you guys can kind of see what it will look like when it becomes activated on your dashboard, which is where we're at right now on our podcast, called the BeautyBubble on YouTube. Now, we do good food. This is why we decided we would start the podcast. So if you're over there, it's all food related. It's where myself and Quiet get on anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. And we choose a topic from the cookbook, from our cookbook, Good Food, Fall and Winter. And we don't know anything, okay? We're talking from no clue to breakthrough. And the only thing that we've done that we chose Anchor. And early on, because, well, we thought that it was a softer landing, because we are not professional podcasters, nor do we have any kind of a professional setup at all. So we weren't really too sure whether or not we had 5 minutes, let alone, any kind of, depth of discussion that we could, decide, oh, well, we're going to record this and then we're going to distribute. So we're very happy to see this happen, not just for us, but for all of the very hardworking podcasters that are out there that wanted to have an easy segue into the collecting donations from your listeners. And so it looks as though that they've done this in a very friendly way. And I kind of wanted to walk through the activation process with you, but primarily for you to know what it looks like, because I don't know what's going to happen when I decide to go activate. But what it basically says, want to get paid to podcast, activate listener support to start collecting donations from your listeners, ! And by activating, you agree to the monetization terms of service. It's only available in the US. When you activate, you'll be taken to Stripe to set up your payment information. So you can see right there, if you do not have a Stripe account, you'll have to go through certain, a certain menu of questions and so forth. So we're not going to take you there today, but what I would encourage you is to visit the monetization terms of service, which is what we will do right now. I love reading these, by the way. So I might just go ahead and take the time to have it archived so that you can hear the terms of service. I find that these are always fascinating to read, and a lot of people just don't get through them, and they don't, they just race through it and go ahead and jump, and really don't have an idea of really who's governing, what their attitude is towards terms of service, and so forth. So why don't I go ahead and I'll read some of it to you while we're live today. So here's the Anchor FM monetization terms of service. Enjoy the read. Date of last revision, August 9th, 2018. Anchor's products and services are provided by Anchor FM, Inc. These monetization terms of service govern your access to and use of Anchor's monetization services, including Anchor listener support and any other services that enable you to collect money through your usage of Anchor. By accessing or using the monetization services in any manner, you agree to abide by this agreement and all other operating rules, policies, and procedures that may be established, that may be published from time to time to the monetization services by us, each of which is incorporated by reference and each of which may be updated from time to time without notice to you. You acknowledge and agree that this agreement is hereby incorporated by reference into our terms of service available at https://anchor.fm/TOS, which governs your use of any Anchor products or services. We reserve the right in our sole discretion to modify or replace any of this agreement or change, suspend, or discontinue the monetization services, including without limitation the availability of any feature, database, or content at any time by posting a notice through the monetization services via email or by another appropriate means of electronic communication. We may also impose limits on certain features and services or restrict your access to parts or all of the monetization services without notice or liability. Your continued use of the monetization services following any changes to this agreement constitutes acceptance of those changes, which will apply to your continued use of the monetization services going forward. Your use of the monetization services is subject to the agreement in effect at the time of such use. Now I'll go ahead and I'll read maybe just one more or two more paragraphs. This is 1.1 Monetization Services. Subject to the terms and conditions of this agreement, Anchor will provide or make available the monetization services on its website, mobile application, and related products and services. In addition, Anchor will provide you with tools to help you develop, launch, operate, and market your user content as defined in our terms of service for the purposes of monetizing, whereby your user content will become monetized content. Paragraph 1.2, registration. As a condition to using the service and monetization services, you may be required to register an account with Anchor, select a password and username, and provide other information about your identity, company, or investments registration data. You agree to provide accurate, current, and complete registration data, maintain the security of your password and username, maintain and promptly update the registration data and any other information you provide to Anchor to keep it accurate, current, and complete, and D, be fully responsible for all use of your account and for any actions that take place using your account. You agree to receive all required notices electronically, including through the services, such as by displaying links to notices generally in the services or to the provided email address. It is your responsibility to update or change that email address as appropriate. If you become aware of any unauthorized use of your registration data for the services, you agree to notify Anchor immediately. Anchor may identify you as an Anchor customer using your name and logo and generally describe the products or services it provides to you in its promotional materials, presentations, and proposals to other current and prospective customers. So when we return to this topic, we'll continue reading if that seems to be the right thing to do. And let me back out again and remind you, we'll just kind of keep it limited on time today, but this is what it will look like. Even if you are a new Anchor podcaster, maybe it's going to take a few minutes, I don't know, for you to actually get this notification to activate. But if you want to get paid for your podcasts, now's the time to activate your listener support, which does go through Stripe, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure there are going to be a lot more people talking about this because they say that 1 out of 3 new podcasters. I have to go and look at the medium again. The stats on what Anchor has been able to do with podcasts it's just remarkable. The number of people that are coming onto Anchor to seat their podcast. So please, if you want to listen to our podcast, well, then you go to the BeautyBubble right there. As you see, that's the name of our podcast, and or you can go over to Twitter, and we all often talk about when we do go live. For example, you could look up basil, the easy vegan recipe, make your own pesto. That was our episode 14. Episode 13 was the fruit of a lemon, which we recorded May 15th. No clue to breakthrough. Number 12, crazy for caraway. Number 11, and so forth and so on. So I hope that this has been helpful to you and encouraging you also to start your own podcast today. Okay? Listen, you need to listen to me when I tell you, start your own podcast today on anchor.fm. And there's many other services out there, including Spreaker, which we love. That's Spreaker.com. So you might want to check them out as well. And we'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye now. And what I'll do before I go away is we will go to our profile so that you
Hi, everyone out there in the world of pod.
Sorry about that, guys. See how loud that is, too? These are all the things that we're learning about. So this is our page with all of the podcasts playing. And then down below, right there, it says how to start a podcast. And then all the things where you can reach out to Anchor on your own. Okay, so I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye now.